nothing I can really do about it there. Good play by the defense.
Nothing I could do there. I don't know. How about don't throw the ball? Look, I don't want to punt a guy while he's down. We are out as a program on Davis Mills. But that logic after an interception where he was so slow getting that ball out, he can say that that ball would have gotten there if it hadn't been deflected at the line of scrimmage. I don't think it would have. Roquan Smith was sitting on Rex Burkhead because I think he knew that Davis Mills in the fourth quarter clams up and is probably going to look for his check down. There are a lot of people out there, though, that are still making excuses for Davis Mills. It is my goal to change all of your minds. And I'm not going to do it like a jackass. I want to. I will say, I have gotten very impatient with some of the folks online who have been championing Davis Mills. When I see a comment like this, it's very frustrating. Enough people, though, are parroting it where it needs to be addressed and it needs to be removed from the universe forever. Young Ari Gold tweeted this. He's a prominent person on Texans Twitter. Not the actual young Ari Gold, who would probably not make it in 2022. Canceled. Imagine if Philly gave up on Jalen Hurts the way a lot of Texans fans want to give up on Davis Mills. Right now, Philly wouldn't be 3-0 and looking like a legit contender. Ask Philly fans how they felt about Hurts through the first 24 games of his pro career. This comparison is inaccurate. That's simple. Jalen Hurts, at the very least, has always been able to do one thing great. I'd argue Hurts is the best running quarterback in the NFL. And I know Lamar Jackson's out there, but Jalen Hurts runs like a running back. He always has run like a running back. He is a big-bodied guy who can put his shoulder into people, who has always had that in his back pocket. And I think that if you are operating in 2022 as a general manager and you're looking for a quarterback that gives you a chance to win every single Sunday, you want a guy who has that in his back pocket. I think that there actually is debate over whether or not Justin Fields or Davis Mills has the leg up on one another. It's sort of the tallest little person kind of conversation. Fields, at the very least, is more aesthetically pleasing to watch, while inaccurate as hell and having a terrible delivery with that hitch that he has in his throw. He can run from time to time for a 29-yard gain and get out of pressure. He does trip a lot, fumble snaps, and looked completely awful, worse than Mills, on Sunday. But a quarterback like that, at the very least, you feel like you can make something out of nothing, and you can perhaps bail out an offensive line from time to time that is going to largely be overwhelmed, especially this early in the year. Offensive lines are still figuring things out as they get used to one another working together. Hurts can run. Mills, what can he do? Just tell me one thing. Tell me one thing that Davis Mills can do. Anything. I asked this question last week with Vanessa. Tell me one thing. He was accurate last year is all I have got. He is not accurate this year. So what do you have? And you can't say he has a long neck. That's cheating. That's not a trait. He was better throwing the ball over the middle of the field. So there's that. But what else? What is there? 713-780-3776. 713-780-ESPN. Twitch.tv/ESPN975. OG from H-Town says, Mills is doo-doo. Mills is but so is Pep. And a lot of focus is being put on Pep Hamilton for this. The offensive struggles. The going away altogether from Dameon Pierce. I think it's defensible to an extent. He fumbled twice. He almost fumbled another time. Ball security is definitely an issue for him. He needs to get the Don Billingsley treatment from Friday Night Lights. YouTube that. Tim McGraw grabs the son of his, Don Billingsley, while he's in the midst of coitus and duct tapes his arms around a football and then starts punching him with it. A little abusive. Classic West Texas. I don't know. I can't say. Never been out there. Never been to Permian. Never been to Odessa. Maybe It's just par for the course. High school football in Texas.
Yeah, and they all go to Texas Tech, and now look at them.
Yeah, that's true. See, winning program.
Yeah.
The best program in.
It just means more out there.
it does just mean more out there. Pep Hamilton went away from Dameon Pierce after the 2 fumbles. They bring in Rex Burkhead. The problem is you're not talented enough to punish a player that's clearly better than everybody else on your roster at that position. Like, there's no alternative to Dameon Pierce. And as soon as you took him out of that game with 6.5 minutes left, your offense was operating with a hand behind its back. I guess of all the things thus far this year, Pep Hamilton going away from Dameon Pierce as long as he did week 1, Pep Hamilton going away from Dameon Pierce altogether down the stretch are probably the 2 biggest criticisms you could have. The screens to Pharaoh Brown, I don't know what those are all about either. He's been a big disappointment to this point too. No doubt about it. And honestly, I had optimism for Pep Hamilton going into the year. I did not share that same optimism for Davis Mills. There's a couple of things that I've seen, and I'm like, they're trying to be too cute. This thing where they go out wide with offensive linemen lining up in the slots and then go back into the middle of the field. It's a pointless gesture. I think everyone knows that you're going to move your offensive lineman back. Because what is Davis Mills going to do with 3 offensive linemen in front of him? Maybe you could get the football out to the side of the field, but I mean, Davis Mills he's a deer in the headlights with pressure on him. I don't know how many people listened to Pardon My Take on Friday. Lovie Smith, head coach of the Houston Texans, actually was on the show. He was asked by Big Cat and PFT commenter if he is a member of Mills Mafia.
The first thing I want to get out of the way just to start is that we are both members of Mills Mafia.
Big Cat, I'm a part of the Mills Mafia too. A lot of faith, of course, in Davis. We as a football team hadn't played our best ball yet, but really excited about what we're going to do in the future.
Just how big is Davis Mills' neck? Like in person? Is it crazy?
Well, I know Davis is a big man in general. That's in an ideal world, you want a quarterback to kind of look over, kind of scan the field. That has a Stanford degree. That's saying an awful lot too. Again, he's got a bright future ahead of him. We got to do some other things to help him, but excited about the direction we're headed.
Stanford degree. Okay, he's being nice. I mean, that is impressive.
When you ask, what does Davis Mills have? A great education.
He does, Sean. He has a great education, and I'm sure that those
looks great on a LinkedIn.
I'm sure that those science classes he took at Stanford, so that he could get all his requirements checked off. I'm sure that they helped him out a lot. I took forensic science my freshman year of college to complete my science requirement. And the entire time I just pretended that I was Horatio Caine from CSI Miami and took my glasses off, put them on. Well, looks like this body has been butchered. Things like that. I think everyone hated me in my group, which was great because that way I got out of the group project.
I took astronomy, the search for extraterrestrial life.
Oh, that's a classic Sean Mapes class.
Guess what? Didn't find it. I know. You might have been like, oh, maybe I missed that they found extraterrestrial life.
What was the source material? The History Channel and that crazy guy who looks like he stuck his finger in a light socket?
It was basically like, here's how we could find extraterrestrial life, but all the planets are so far away that we'll never find them.
You heard from Lovey in that comment. What is it that they can do to help Davis Mills out? I really don't know. He's not a mobile quarterback. He doesn't do very well in the pocket, and he doesn't go through his progressions, which is what Lovey said. After the game on Sunday, these were Lovie Smith's final thoughts on the struggles of Davis Mills.
It's not quite there yet. Wish I could tell you exactly. If I could tell you exactly why, I'd tell you. I would have told him not to do it. But things just didn't go. Got to make better decisions. Got to protect the ball. That's something that we have done. We haven't turned it over an awful lot. Today wasn't that day, though.
I think he's kind of lost right now. And I'm curious as to what he's going to say on Monday. I want to ask Lovey at the press conference, which is about an hour and 45 minutes from now, what he has seen Mills progress with. Because I have not seen really anything. I hope that changes. There's a lot of season left, but I mean, I think we know who he is. And what sucks is you don't really have an alternative at this point.